Hello everyone. I'm going to give you a brief overview of Module 2. In this module you're going to be looking at chapters 3 and 6, and these chapters cover topics about project management and collaboration tools. These two chapters really fit well together because if you are working on a project, you're going to be collaborating with other people. And we all know that any project that we work on, when you're working with a committee or you're working on a team, there's always some kind of communication tool that's used, and there's so many things that are out there, whether it's a scheduling tool or a file sharing tool or a document tool like Google Docs that allows you to collaborate at the same time and put in comments and edits and track what people are doing, or if it's an information system that allows you to share data, look at charts, look at reports, to look at this information to make a decision or to plan. There's planning tools. You're going to use some of those in here. And so when you're working on projects in your organizations, IT is going to be at the heart of supporting that project. So one of the things that we're going to have you to do in this module, of course you've got chapter quizzes for chapters 3 and 6, but you're going to do one of your team projects in this module, the project about emerging trends. So we feel like it's important for you to always kind of look and see what are the, I don't want to say latest and greatest, because sometimes the things that you look at are not necessarily new technologies. They've been around for a while, but maybe they're just now making it mainstream, or maybe they've been making mainstream news for the last 5 years, but it's still somewhat new to the point that when people adopt it, they still feel like they're on the bleeding edge because they have trouble with the adoption. Most of the time, if something's not a new innovative tool, if it's something that's been around for a long time, you would hope that some of the kinks in the implementation would be worked out, but sometimes we're implementing technologies that have been around for more than a decade and still having trouble with it. So the topics that you'll talk about in the Emerging Trends presentation, they're going to vary, and you need to think as a team about a topic that you're interested in. Sometimes people look at virtualization, sometimes people look at cloud. There's been a lot of things looking at cybersecurity. Now that's definitely not an emerging trend, but it always changes. The way the attacks are made changes. So sometimes, even though it's not emerging, the things that you do to protect yourself sometimes are different. So that's one topic that sometimes people look at. I've had teams do projects on 3D printers and talk about how that's really going to change a lot over the next probably 10 to 15 years as those become more mainstream. One example that I thought was just really interesting was 3D printing. If in the automotive industry for aftermarket parts, or even in some cases in pre-production, they would 3D print from a CAD file or something like a CAD file, a computer designed file, 3D print a part and actually bolt it onto the engine or the vehicle or whatever it was that they were working on to see if it would fit. And then from that they could make a mold or a cast or whatever for the final product. So it was much, much cheaper to 3D print a part and test it, not in actual running, but test the fit, test the shape, test what looks right on the computer to see if it really looks right in reality. So I've had lots of projects on a lot of different things. That's just part of it. So you've got this project, right? You as a team have a project of researching and recording a video presentation, and the details of that are in the description for that project. So you've got this project to work on as a team. Well, we want you to use planning tools and collaboration tools to plan your project. So you actually have two things that we're calling projects here. One of them is you're going to use, and here I'm going to scroll up under the materials and resources. One of them is to use Microsoft Project, a trial version, to actually plan your team project of your Emerging Trends video presentation. So your team is going to submit two things all surrounding the emerging trends. One is you're going to submit your project plan that you have worked on and collaborated with your teammates using Microsoft Project. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is you're actually going to do it. You're going to record the video, post it on YouTube, and then share it with me. Okay, So that's what you're going to be really working on here in Module 2, collaboration tools and project management. The project management is something that people always enjoy because most of you are managers and you deal with projects, and everybody always enjoys these topics. So I hope that you enjoy it, and welcome to Module 2.